I would recommend this book really to my female friends. So I feel like my female friends would enjoy this more because these are the words that we hear and these are the words that we struggle with. So, well, yeah, the male friends too, yes, but my female friends, you would love this. Enjoy this with me. It's super fun to read. The male friends, you know, when you read this, have an open mind, okay? Have an open mind because it will make them realize that I shouldn't be using this word or I shouldn't be ashamed of this word. I could use the word if I want to. Why is it not a good word? Why is it not a good word? Why is it, diba? And so on. And hi everyone, this is Paul Loves Read, and as you know in this channel, it's all about spreading the love and joy for literature. And we hope our little channel helps you find the right book for you. So today we're going to do another random review, but there's just two choices now from my ebooks. And both of these I really love. Let's take this. Uy, Wordslut. Okay. Wordslut by Amanda Montell. Let me read to you the full title. It's called Wordslut, A Feminist Guide to Taking Back the English Language. Very provocative title. So Amanda Montell, this is actually the second book that I have read of this author. Amanda Montell is also the author of Cultish, which is actually one of my top books of 2021, I think. And I'm so happy I managed to read this. And as you could see, it's an ebook because it's not easy to find the physical copy. I would love to have the physical copy, but anyway, I'm happy I still read it. This is her first book, actually. Nauna to, and then the Cultish. The book is about language, once again. So Amanda Montell is a linguist, I think. I hope I'm getting that right. But her profession is about the study of languages, right? Like, not just language in a sense that different language in different countries, not just that, but language as in how it affects culture, our culture, and why do we speak the way we speak, and why does our language evolve, and so on and so forth. So it's about that, but from a feminist angle. So as the title says, Feminist Guide to Taking Back the English Language. So this book focuses on the language that is always the language that is targeted on females or to females. Parang ganon. The female language. There's a lot of terminologies that are female in nature. And she dissects that, right? She dissects it. She digs deep into it. Why do we have these type of language, and why do we designate gender or the female gender to some language and why not others, and so on and so forth. So I truly enjoyed it. Super smart book. It's about both the words that are used to call female, and then it's also about languages that has a female and male designation. So for example, in French language, they have certain words that are male, and then they have certain words that are female. Parang ganyan. And I remember that vaguely from my French class back in college. I can't remember what are the words na female and male, but she did cited it here. On the other hand, there are words that are, because of how our society and culture evolved over years, there are words that are typically associated with being female. And more often than not, those words are or can be offensive, can be belittling, can be oppressive, and so on and so forth. That's why the title says it's a feminist guide to taking back the English language, because you want to own it, sort of. Like, for example, the title itself, the word slut. Slut is immediately, when you hear the word slut, you think of a female. Why is that, right? But a slut can be female or male. The word bitch. Technically, bitch is a female dog, right? But when you say bitch, you immediately think of a female. Or descriptive words like a nagger. Why do you think of a female when you hear the word nagger? A guy can be a nagger, right? So these things, these questions, it's amazing how she dissects it and how she explains why is it that way and why should we move away from it and how, and so on and so forth. So I loved it. She is proposing for us to be able to respond to it appropriately, right? And to not be a snob when it comes to language uses and to accents, for example, and to grammar. That's that too. So there's different aspects to it as well. For me, I have to admit, before this book, I was one of those who was always so conscious about grammar, who was always, who sometimes get annoyed by different accents. I would admit that. And that's not a good quality to have at all. You would think that that term grammar Nazi is a thing. After reading this book, I realized how superficial that is and how wrong that is. Because grammar, who designed grammar anyway? Who told you that this is the right way to speak? And where did they get that? Where did you get your curriculum? Who designed it? Why did they design it that way? Accents, then accent, your provincial accent and whatever accent. People laugh at some accents, even here in our country, diba? We laugh at people's accents. Why is it funny? Should it be funny? It shouldn't be funny. It's, So things like that. It's really an eye-opener for me. And some censored words, words that you don't normally use because it is considered a vulgar word. Why is it vulgar? Why should it not be vulgar? And so on and so forth. So very interesting. She didn't exactly say political correctness, if memory serves me right. But she did delve into that area wherein, it matters what we say, what's acceptable, what are the things that are acceptable to say, and what are not. But again, this focuses mostly on the female language side of it, and there's a lot of it. There's actually a section here, a chapter that talks about the genitalia and how we have so many words to call both the female and the male genitalia, right? And why is that? And why do we call why do we call the female genitalia this word instead of this word? And then she digs deeper, like, okay, if we call it this word, how would you describe this word? This word is considered soft, this word is considered ganyan, and so on and so forth. So that kind of gets you thinking, like, we've always accepted words as a part of our lives, like it's always been there, but you never question why is that so. And that's what she does here. Throughout history, the women and female has always been secondary to men, right? Like marginalized, yeah. The woman has always been marginalized and secondary. We were not allowed to vote until recently. You're not allowed to ganyan. So there's that angle of it. Kaya rin it's, feminist guide to taking back the language. Why should you read this? For one thing, it's fun. It's a really fun read. True to form, when, cultish, if you read it, you love this. True to form naman, she writes so well. She writes very smartly, very witty, very funny, but at the same time, very educational, very informational. And you will learn a lot of new things, guaranteed. You will learn things that you've never seen before anywhere else. So why should you read this? Because if only to understand, why do you speak the way you do? And should you? If only for that, and I think that's reason enough, right? And because the language that we use is a reflection of who you are as a person, is a reflection of your culture, is a reflection of what culture you chooses to be. So I think in that's important. Yeah. Interesting, very interesting. Such a fun book. I would recommend this book really to my female friends. So I feel like my female friends would enjoy this more because these are the words that we hear. These are the words that we struggle with. So, well, yeah, the male friends too, yes. But my female friends, you would love this. Enjoy this with me. It's super fun to read. The male friends, when you read this, have an open mind, okay? Have an open mind. But of course, both sexes can read this. But I just feel like this is something that the girls would enjoy. It's funny, it's smart, and it's exactly that, taking back the English language. So, there you go. Thank you.